Let's first now go to the White House and the very latest with our Megan Casella. There have been many headlines, including some that just moved a few moments ago. Megan.
Absolutely, Scott. The story of the day here and in the markets is this head-to-head really between President Trump and Fed Chair Jay Powell, starting with that Truth Social post early this morning. But the latest headlines just crossing from the Wall Street Journal saying that President Trump has for months been privately discussing firing the Fed chair. But the Journal reports that the Fed has not made a final decision about whether to try and actually remove him. The Journal also says that the president down at Mar-a-Lago has been speaking to the former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh about the possibility of potentially firing Powell before the end of his term next May and asking Warsh to be the one to succeed him. That all crossing from the Journal just a couple of minutes after the president wrapped up in the Oval Office alongside the Italian Prime Minister, I should say, Meloni, where Powell again was, I would say, the biggest topic of conversation. Take a listen here to just some of the comments the president was making there about Powell.
On Jerome Powell, you said that the termination of Jerome Powell cannot come fast enough. He says he won't leave even if you ask him to.
Oh, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But
do you believe
I don't think he's. I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast. Believe me.
If you listen closely there, the president saying that he clearly believes he would have the legal authority to remove Powell if he would be gone if he asked him to, but not answering questions directly about whether he's actually taking that step now. But that was just some of the comments about Powell. The president went on to praise the European Central Bank for cutting rates, but said, quote, "Our guy wants to play cute," saying that Powell was playing politics, that the Federal Reserve in general was playing politics, and he called the Fed political, saying there will be a lot of political pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut rates and that Powell owes it to the American people to move things in that direction. This careful dance, of course, about, treading this line about whether to fire the Fed chairman coming after a White House official told me earlier today not to take that Truth Social post as a threat to actually fire him. So clearly they're still deciding there exactly how they want to proceed. Just one other topic, Scott, to bring you because it still continues to be a major story, is the status of ongoing trade negotiations. The White House says that they're negotiating with some 75 plus nations. In the Oval Office, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent listed Japan, the European Union, South Korea, and India, all as nations that had either been to Washington for talks or were on their way here, in the case of South Korea coming next week, saying that all of those were moving very quickly, hinting at potentially some deals to come. The Italian Prime Minister Meloni also made comments about Italy having to increase their LNG imports and potentially buying more nuclear from the U.S. as well. I flag that just because it gives us a little bit of a hint as to how these trade talks are going. Countries are looking for ways to buy more from the U.S., reduce that trade deficit to potentially win a deal from this White House.